Hi everyone, it's Tsveti speaking, and thank you so much for joining me and Jan today. I'm here with him, and he's also a student of last year's graduates from Viktor's apprenticeship program. So, hi Jan, how are you doing?
Hi, Sveti. I'm doing great, and it's really good to do this with you. And yeah, moon signs.
Yeah, it's a really most interesting topic, and we'll have a bit the perspectives of how the moon sign of a child. We'll talk about and give us some clue about possibly our parenting style and how we can support and accept the child more and let them be their true essence. So I just wanted to say why I was motivated to do this video and especially this topic, because I myself am a parent and I have been struggling among so many theories. You know, there are so many theories on how you should parent the child in order for it to become a real good person and successful in the world, you know. And I have a daughter, and it wasn't really until I got deep into astrology that I was able to accept and to understand better her needs. So now I hope that based on that knowledge, she feels much more nurtured and taken care of, and she's free to be herself. And also, you know, kids don't come with the user's manual. That's what they say. But being into astrology actually um, leads me to think that it's not exactly like this, because the astrological chart of the child is a kind of a manual to the parent. It gives clues, and it gives us some insight what we can do and how we can support the behavior. And why we chose the moon sign when we talk about children, I was actually very, very much inspired by Victor's 12-week course. It's all about the moon, the lunar nodes, and eclipses, and this course gives such a great insight on the parenting style for me, because it talks about the moon in great depth. It talks about the signs, the houses, aspects to the moon phases. It really reveals our deepest emotional needs. So I highly recommend you to take a look at Victor's course on the moon. I will put a link below the video. So if you are interested, you can take a look. And I think that also each session of the 12 weeks can be bought separately. So if you are interested into any specific topic, you can just choose one of them. And what's the moon? There is so much to consider there, as I already mentioned. And it's, you know, the sign, the house, the phase, it evolves through time, it transits, you know, perfections. We'll be focusing though on the natal moon sign. And yeah, maybe we'll mention about other possibilities during our talk. So, what do you think about the moon in Aries, Jan?
Yeah, moon in Aries. I just wanted to say a couple of things myself as well. Like the moon sign in general. I think it's kind of like a really big thing that most of, let's say, popular astrology doesn't really talk about that much. Those predictions in newspapers and such. They don't really go into the depth, and the moon sign is such an kind of like an easy thing to understand as well, and an easy thing to use in your everyday life. So, just if we're focusing on the moon in Aries, like knowing that you have already moon in Aries pretty much immediately means that you enjoy competition and you like to compete in some way, sports, fitness activities, a lot of action required for the Aries moon person. And you know, I can speak from personal experience because I have Aries moon. So I'm always kind of like jumpy. I need to do things. I need activities, and well, if if that person doesn't get it, they turn into kind of like a. I always compare the Aries moon with a like a child who has a tantrum. Basically, that's the negative side of Aries moon. It's like, oh, I need to do something now. I have an emotional reaction. I need to get something now. Basically.
Yeah, so you said it so well. The Aries moon children, they will be really really active, and they will need to have freedom and the space to move around, to run a lot, and to somehow use this physical energy, because the Aries sign is actually ruled by Mars, and it's very much about physical energy. And when this physical energy is not channeled well, the child can become really aggressive in a way. Also um, playing tantrums, as you said,
Yeah.
in public or when you're together with the child at home. But definitely giving the child free space and is a very important thing. And somehow supporting them into physical activities. And also one thing about the Aries moon. Um, this moon sign, these children, they're very open, direct, and very sincere in a way.
Hmm.
So it's very important, I think, for the parents to really do what they say, and to follow the rules that they set as well. It's important for any moon sign, but for the Aries sign especially, because Aries likes to challenge a lot. And I think that generally, not only for the Aries sign, but limits are very important for children, because, they make a very nice comparison I like. Limits are, they make children feel secure. They make children know where they are, where they stay. So it's like a swing, the Aries moon child would like to really uh, swing hard on the swing and fast, and run. But what would make the Irish child really feel secure would be these limits that will, not let him or her fall down the swing. So this is the parent role here,
Hmm.
to let them be the warrior they are, and to challenge, and to have their daily challenges, to have activities, as many as possible, because the Aries moon will be probably really bored. It's a cardinal sign, so they may get bored and impatient if they do the same thing all over again. So yeah, just
It,
have different activities for them, and
I,
possibly physical ones.
yeah, just one of the things you mentioned, I think, is really important because Aries moon gets really bored really quickly. So if you have a bunch of new activities planned, or they themselves will start to initiate new activities, every, I don't know, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, really quickly. Now I want to do something else, and now I want to do this.
Yeah.
So allowing them to do it actually is good, I think.
Yeah, so it's really important for the parent of an Aries moon child to help them learn how to survive, because the Aries sign is all about survival, about physical survival, and also um, teach them how to be courageous and independent. They should stimulate this a lot
Mm.
in the child, not, and that's why it's very important also to see the synastry between the mother and the child in a way, because if, let's say, we have a mother with a watery moon, which is very emotional, very much about security, and an Aries child, which will be really physically challenging, and will be challenging the emotional watery moon to face their fears in a physical way all the time, it can be really hard to build up a relationship. But if the parent understands that these are the needs of the child, then maybe it will be easier not to take this personally on the first place, and
Hmm.
yeah, then support the child to become more independent, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so going on from the adventurous Aries to stable Taurus.
The stable Taurus, yeah, the favorite place of the moon, and a very enjoyable place for the moon. Um, it's a place where, when everybody's, even I noticed when there are difficult aspects or whatever, and the moon is in Taurus, people get along, and everything is kind of nice, and everybody's kind of diplomatic with each other, and want to enjoy pleasures and good food, um, massages, and I think one of the, like, important things with Taurus moon is the side of nature here, and really, really, Tauruses, especially Taurus moons, need to be outside in nature, interacting with nature, um, getting their kind of like hands in the dirt, hands in the earth, so that they feel, emotionally more grounded, emotionally more stable, and safe as well, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Taurus is really peaceful, I would say,
It
and
is, exactly.
yeah, and the moon in Taurus is it's exalted, true, and I can say that I can imagine that a moon in Taurus will get really frustrated if they're hungry as well,
Oh yes.
because
Oh yes.
food is really important for them. So people, parents who have a moon in Taurus child will really need to pay attention to the food
Oh
regime, to
nice. Yeah.
always have something with them, because Taurus will really be like calm down when having something to eat, so not let them be hungry to an extreme. And yeah, this reconnection with nature, it's also really important for Taurus as well, because Taurus rules nature. So being out in the environment and in nature, it will really take out the stress from a Taurus child. It will make them feel this calmness, and this somehow the love of Mother Earth, which is the Taurus sign anyway. So um and also, one other thing, Taurus is very resistant to change as an earth sign.
Hmm.
So maybe one thing that will be important for such a moon sign will be to always tell the child a bit in advance what will be the plan for the day. Like, or if you have to leave, like you are at the family gathering, there are so many children playing, in order to support the child and to avoid some kind of tantrum, just tell them 10 minutes before you leave, we'll be leaving in 10 minutes, get ready. So they can somehow slowly shift their, state of mind, their emotional state, and they can leave, um, willingly, let's say.
Yeah, I
So
think that's
I
really good advice. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's really important for Taurus to have some plan and to have some idea where they're going, what's coming next, and to have these kind of predictive things coming to them, and maybe even repeating things, some daily schedule in a bit. Because Taurus, this is more about the Virgo sign, but still Taurus is also an earth sign. And since it's fixed energy, it's very much, fixed on what's right now, and it will need some time to shift their focus. And when you're little, so many things, so many challenging things coming to you. So yeah, I think it's a good thing to follow.
Uh,
um, yeah,
I just wanted to mention song and music as well with Taurus, and it's Venus ruled, so song and music, artistic expression for the child, I think can be good as well when their belly is full, and they've eaten. Maybe they can create some music, or sing a song,
yeah,
that will
and
ground as well them.
yeah, and Taurus is more about is all about the senses. So anything that will make them feel cozy, like hug, like they're very sensitive. Their skin is very sensitive. So anything that will make them feel comfortable, like a blanket, a very, something really physical, a comfy blanket to be wrapped up, or even, an oversized chair to just, lay down and feel comfortable within there. And yeah, Taurus needs lots of touching. They need physical contact to feel
Hmm.
secure. So I think it's a good advice for a parent of a Taurus moon child to somehow hug them and to touch them, to touch them a lot, so that they, feel secure. And when they need their attention, they can just slightly touch them to get their attention. Yeah. So yeah, Taurus is really all about the desire for stability and predictability. So and they're very warm-hearted. Practically, if they feel secure, they will give you the gift of love. So they're very calm children generally. They sleep a lot, I think. So um, yeah, and they will feel shut down when they're emotionally drained, really, for the Taurus sign. And so don't rush them. That's my, you know, insight on the Taurus moon children. Don't rush them to do things they're not ready to do. Just give them some time to shift the focus.
What I think maybe one of the things to mention with the Taurus moon is the stubbornness still. The Taurus stubbornness can come. I know. I mean, the moon is so good in Taurus, but like the stubbornness, I still can see come out, and I think it can come out with the child as well. You know, they can lock horns with the parent, quite possibly, not letting go of their opinion, let's say.
Yeah, this is absolutely a possibility, but yeah, um, usually when the Taurus becomes really stubborn and lock horns with the parent, it's because some of their, especially for children, it's because some of their inner needs is not fulfilled. So it's like
Yeah.
a defense mechanism to say no. Of course, there is this children's puberty age at 3 when they learn to say no and it's healthy. They
Yeah.
learn to put boundaries and they learn healthy limits. So it's okay. It's okay for the child to say no. It's and I think it's, generally for any parent-child relationship that we somehow allow the children to say no when they mean no and to have their own space. It's like we need to treat them as equal. And yeah, one more thing about the Taurus moon, they like to possess things because Taurus is an earthly sign and they really like to own things. So maybe they will be the child who will be collecting, whatever you can imagine.
Yeah.
So don't stop them because this would usually make them feel secure, and grounded. So it might be their thing to feel secure and grounded, to own things and to collect things. So yeah. Okay. Do you have anything to add about the Taurus moon sign?
Maybe, just essential oils, have,
Yeah.
it's like pleasant scents at home can be good for them as well. They will
Yeah.
enjoy the nice smells or the scents of the oils.
I absolutely agree here. They definitely need a home to feel comfortable in, and that will be fulfilling the needs of the senses.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah. So, what
Gemini.
about the moon in Gemini?
I mean, the Gemini, for me, the Gemini moon needs a lot of expressing of their curiosity and gathering of information and um, interacting with people and speaking and exchanging information and giving information and learning skills and teaching skills, you know. But you know, when we're talking about children, it's more about, you know, different kind of interests. And there is a, there is a kind of similarity with Aries moon, because they're both very, you know, can't focus as much on one topic at a very long time. So Gemini, when Aries moon needs more of the physical activity, Gemini moon needs that intellectual information. I need to learn new skills, kind of side of it.
Yeah, and in this line of thought, it will be really harmful if a parent punishes the child through not talking to them. For a moon in Gemini, this will be really, really, this will be like a trauma. They will feel totally unloved and unaccepted if you use this method to manipulate them in a way, because this is a way of manipulation when we don't know what to do as parents, I mean. So it's really important, rationalize, tell them why. And the moon in Gemini child, because Gemini is all about communication, curiosity, rationalizing. It's really important for the moon in Gemini child to understand why something is happening, the reasons behind. They really need to know what's going on the mental plane. You know, they feel joy of knowing something, knowing for knowing's sake, you know. So and the purpose of the moon here will be to keep an open mind. So try to keep an open mind for the child, try to teach them in a way to keep an open mind and to be open to new information, new ideas, new philosophies, you know, as well. And
I,
they're really hungry to learn a lot,
I
as you
just
said.
I just remembered one of really important thing with Gemini moon. You mentioned the talking and the speaking, but I think I just learned this through an experience that they really need to be allowed to learn different things. So no, you know, in our society, it's very often forced upon the child, and you know, adults as well, but that you need to kind of specialize in one specific area. And this doesn't really work with Moon and Gemini. They need to be allowed to, you know, express here, you know, talk here, gather information here. You know, all areas basically
Yeah,
are good.
kind of like a, you know, social butterfly.
Yeah.
They
So
they really like to communicate, and they will definitely need the social circle. So you will need as a parent to organize play dates for the child, and they will need to have the freedom to learn and to explore new things. They're like the scientific child in a way, you know. And possible games will be like, you know, word games like Scrabble, for example. I can well imagine for a growing child that such types of and all those scientific sets they have, and this will be, and books really, of course.
okay, yeah.
Reading books to a Gemini moon child will be very nurturing, and you know, spending time more playing with them these types of games where the mind is very active, and that they involve lots of communication and working with words and stuff, and learning new things, how things work, acquiring new skills, because Mercury is also all about skills. So yeah, I think this will be really useful, and not so much owning things, like, you know, in contrary to Taurus, who likes to own things. For Gemini, they like to own ideas in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and one sign that they are emotionally drained and they need rest might be that they can't really concentrate on a conversation. This will be really showing about the Gemini moon child, that they need to rest. And yeah, okay. So they like mental challenges, as we said. And if you have anything else to add.
Mm, well, I think maybe writing as well, because when the child is already capable of writing, that can also be a way of expressing their emotions. getting their kind of thoughts and ideas out, and then that can soothe them
Mhm.
emotionally as well when they just maybe write a diary or write a whatever basically. Oops.
Yeah,
It
and
doesn't have to be anything specific.
yeah, and because we're like in a modern age, they can be, making lots of video recordings where they talk all the
Oh
time,
yes.
and so don't stop them, just let them be and let them have it, because that's the way that's how they feel secure when they communicate. And also the Gemini moon child, they will not be spending much time at home. I think they will be really going out, like they will like going out a lot
Yeah.
and having this social circle, social life, lots of friends to communicate, to chat, you know. And yeah, they're very sociable and very science oriented in a way. So they will be curious to know how things work and what's behind a certain, you know, a, so I can well imagine that the Gemini moon child will be really curious to know what's inside the toy track. So they will be,
Yeah.
looking into it.
Yeah. Yeah. They will
So
dissemble. Yeah.
yeah, they will disassemble it.
Yeah.
So it's a part of their nature. So parents should not be getting angry about them destroying everything. It's out of curiosity. It's their way to learn in a way. So yeah. Okay, moving on to Moon in Cancer.
Well, I'm moving Cancer. I think you're the specialist here, but I'll just mention a couple words. I mean, water sign, very emotional moon, um, wants to feel nurtured for sure. Big one, um, and one of the things is they can. What I've seen is they will nurture others as well, but there can be like a darker side there that they want the nurture back, kind of get the nurture back without saying it.
Yeah.
So I think one of the biggest things for Cancer Moon maybe to learn is to just express their emotional needs and say them out loud, and hopefully you have people there that are capable of offering that safety and nurturing and emotional expression for you as well.
Yeah, you said it so well. It's a cardinal sign after all, so they will know and they will have their way to ask to be nurtured. Not only, but it's a cycle. When you feel nurtured, you have the energy to nurture others. And because I have the moon in Cancer as well, I can say that also home and family and the having a big familia, so to say,
Mhm.
all the relatives and family gatherings, this will be really nurturing for the child, feeling that they are a part of a bigger somehow, kinship in a way, because Cancer is, this will make them feel secure, because Cancer is also very much about security. And in order for them to somehow share their feelings and emotions, they will need to feel really secure within the environment or with the person. So the role of the parent here will be very much about making the child feel secured and nurtured. And we didn't mention breastfeeding so far, but I think that for a Cancer moon child, it will be like the most important to be breastfed,
Mm.
because they really need to feel the security of the mother hug. They really need hugs. They need hugs, a lot of hugs, a lot of hugging. So um, the their this is how they feel that their inner world will be protected when they're emotionally secure, and when they feel they're a part of something bigger, which will be protecting them in case of need. And yeah, more or less it's a watery sign, as you said, very emotional, so really important for them to learn to say out loud their emotional needs and what they need in a certain moment. They're very easily hurt, and the problem is that when they get hurt, when they feel hurt, you will never know it, because they will just go into their crab shell, and they will never tell anyone that they hurt them. So it's really important for a parent of a Cancer Moon child to to, to develop some kind of sensitivity towards the child's emotional state, and somehow um, learn them to be emotionally intelligent, to see the deeper truth and the deeper reason for why something happened on an emotional level, you know, to tell them out loud, because to tell them, for example, you feel hurt because this and this happened, and they need lots of validating of their emotions.
Mm-hmm.
They need an external validation, someone to validate that what they feel is really what they feel. They need to know the names of the emotions, because it's a watery sign, and so rationalization is something somehow in the background. It's not so much highlighted, so they really need to learn the words for the way they feel so that they can express it. So I think it's a really important role of the parent here to teach them which emotion appears when and how it's called, so that they can differentiate and express themselves. Yeah.
Would you agree if like this is I had an idea. It's a lot about protection, Cancer Moon as well. Um, were you, for example, when in your childhood, kind of like protecting maybe animals or others? So do they? I don't have a personal experience with this, so maybe they can, when a parent sees the child protecting, animals or other child or children, to allow them to do that, not to start stopping them or anything.
Mm. When I was a child, I remember I was protecting others from myself mostly. Somehow I felt I was highly emotional because, I'm a triple water. So I'm really emotional, but
Yeah.
I always felt like I should be protecting them from me, from my emotions, so
Okay.
that they don't get overwhelmed with my emotions. But this kept me, in this shell all the time. So nobody ever came to realize and to know
Mm-hmm.
actually how I felt. And I thought I was doing something good for them, but it wasn't good for the relationship, and it wasn't good neither for them nor for me, because nobody had, the opposite side of Cancer is Capricorn. Capricorn is very distant, and they wouldn't show their emotions. So we can also say that this is the shadow side of the Cancer moon, the Capricorn moon,
Mm-hmm.
where you want to be in control all the time and not to show your emotions, because this will make you feel vulnerable in a way, and children are very good at, making defense mechanisms in a way. So if a parent reacts to, parents are overworked these days, they're burnt out, they have so many things on their mind, and not only these days, but every parent is like this usually. So rejecting a child's emotions, a Cancer moon child's emotions, could lead to this, what happened to me, not having time to listen to them or to talk to them about how they feel, and totally ignoring it, it's really hard for the Cancer moon child. And, the child starts thinking something's wrong with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they start hiding it in a way. But yeah, as we grow up, we learn to deal with this. We get to know ourselves better, and yeah, I think things can get better. But as a parenting advice, I would say for anyone who has a Cancer moon and a watery sign, not only Cancer but mainly Cancer, it's really important. It's really important to have this soulful conversation, emotional conversation, because with the child, because this is how they feel secure and accepted. When they are allowed to cry as much as they want, when they are allowed to whine a bit. It can be very unnerving, I know, but yeah, that's the way they feel accepted. They feel you accept them with all, as as a whole, for all they are. you know okay, so anything else to add about Cancer?
I
They
think
love family, they love being at home. They feel
emotions, yeah,
secure, their home is their not forest, fortress.
fortress, yeah.
Fortress. So yeah, it's important for them to stay at home. As much as the Geminis like going out and be sociable, Cancers like being sociable, but like inviting people over to their home to show their hospitality and yeah, to share their toys in a way. So okay, the moon in Leo, it's a fiery sign again.
Fire sign Leo, yeah. I mean, fun. Well, these people like fun, and they need fun to feel emotionally happy and secure. I think one of the biggest things here, like from a grown up and child perspective, is to allow them to perform, to allow them to express themselves freely. Then they will feel happy. Then they will feel secure. I think for me that's one of the biggest things here. I'm Leo. I'm Leo's son, so I have kind of like a know in a way what it means. So allowing that person to really shine as well, and not to scold them if they take the center stage or express themselves in a funny way or in a unique way as well.
Yeah. So they like applause
They
when
like
they perform, definitely.
yes.
And yeah, maybe they will, despite they are a Leo moon and they like being on center stage, they will also need some kind of encouragement and support to do it,
Yes.
because children are, naturally shy and feeling insecure, wanting to be accepted by the parents. So if the parents are supporting this quality within them, it will, show up more and more. And the supporting creativity, so like anything related to painting, creativity for fun though, not for having this and that achievement and becoming this and that, but just for having fun, for fun's sake.
Yeah.
So just having a great time, uh, having a hobby in a way, will be really, really nice, because Leos are cats, they like being taken care of, being followed in a way, because this is the lion, this is actually the king of the jungle, so
Yes.
they like to be followed. And also, I don't know, maybe you will confirm that, but lions tend to be maybe a bit lazy in a way. They like to move, to take it slow, to have rest, and cats, they like lying in the sun. So
Yeah.
yeah,
They're also Leos are a fixed sign, so they move a little bit slower. But there is a bit of a like this. The world exists for the Leo's sake, or they are the center of the universe, and that can make a person a little bit uh, taking things for granted, and being a little lazy at times, maybe. Yeah,
mm,
not maybe. Yeah, for sure. But one of the things I also wanted to mention with this is Leo Moon will really feel, secure and happy when you say how awesome they are, basically, and you mean it, and you have to mean it as well. But just seeing and approving and affirming how amazing and awesome they are, they will. Then I use this very often. They purr, they start to purr like little kittens. Then all of this, the drama side of Leo kind of fades away, and they start being very content cats.
yeah. And I'm thinking that about the parenting style.
Hmm.
something really hurtful to our Leo moon would be if you somehow humiliate them in public. Because for Leo, it's really important to shine. It's a sign ruled by the sun, so it's really important to support this shining, to to see when you look at your child, you need to see the sun so that they can stay in touch with the sun within them. And the sun is also authority, and the Leo sign is very often said to be arrogant and a bit self-centered, but I think this is a defense mechanism. This is a defense mechanism so that others, because if you have a low self-worth due to the fact that, let's say, the parent didn't support it, your identity, your creativity, the way you are, they didn't accept it, you as a whole, then you become defensive and try to hide it from everybody else. And the way that Leos get defensive, they just become um, radiating this overconfidence, and which looks a bit arrogant, but this is actually, a cry for help, in a way, a cry for, not for help, but a cry for, look at me, look at my essence, accept me as I am, and I have this trait as well, will you accept me with it, in a way. So if you accept this within them, they become these purring cats, as you said. They become really tamed in a way.
Yeah.
So it's important. Lots of praise. Give them lots of praise. Tell them they're doing great. And yeah, support them. Support them in this way. And I think that Leo somehow doesn't like challenges as well. They like being who they are, but not being challenged so much. Like, because this is also a fire sign, but not like the Aries sign.
Mm.
You know, Aries likes challenges.
Yes.
Aries likes to prove that they're the best, while Leo needs to feel they're the best at all times.
Yeah.
They really need to know they're the best without having to prove it.
That's
So
exactly how it is. I can
yeah.
affirm that.
Okay, so parents should be enjoying the greatness of their Leo moon children. So just see this sunny aura around them, and support them to be really the center of attention. This is not something good, something bad. And one thing that can happen, I have seen it once
Mhm.
with a Leo moon child. There were other things in Leo as well, so Leo stellium there, but still, sometimes Leo has this, trait to bring out the worst in others so that they can feel the best within a
Mm.
group.
Mm.
And maybe, this is again a defense mechanism, because the child doesn't feel accepted and doesn't feel they have any qualities which are really good and which stand out.
Mhm.
So the role of the parent here would be to find what stands out in the child and really believe it, because Leos have detectors for unsincere, words and behavior. And if the parent is not sincere into saying that, then they will feel it, and it will only become worse. So if you make a praise to a Leo, you should really mean it. Yeah, don't lie to them. This will make them feel even worse.
Yeah.
Better maybe not say anything, but
Be-
not lying. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mm. And so we're going to Virgo, to
Virgo
my
moon.
favorite moon
Your
sign.
your favorite? Okay.
Uh, no, I was a bit ironic. My daughter has the moon in Virgo, so that's why I said my favorite, because she's my favorite.
Yeah.
You know.
Totally
Would you like
understand.
to start?
Sure. Virgo moon. So I have a bit of an experience with Virgo in general and Virgo moon, and they can be, perfectionists, but I think there is a need there for cleanliness for sure, to order things, to be everything to be in proper state and order. Then they feel kind of secure emotion. And what I've really seen is when a Virgo person or Virgo moon cleans their home, you know, then they instantly feel kind of like grounded, or then they can sit down and things start kind of magically turning for the better. So order and cleanliness is very, very important for them.
Yeah, this is absolutely true, but I have noticed as a parent that if this order comes from the outside, from the parent, then at least my daughter, she tends to go to the opposite.
Oh,
She tends
nice.
to be like a Piscean, chaotic something, and everything is in chaos. And
Mhm.
if I keep repeating please order things and so on, she will never do it,
Okay.
and she will be claiming just leave me, I like my chaos. And when I stopped doing it, she started doing it herself. So I think because Virgo has this servant style in a way, this trait, and they want to be helpful.
Yeah,
So it's very important uh, how we ask the child to do something. Do we order? Do we tell them, or do we tell them that we need them to help us? If you ask for help, they will be really happy to help you.
oh,
But
that's
if
good.
you go and order them around, do this, do that, they will never be responding as you would like to. So it's very important, I think, for the moon in Virgo, to have the freedom to help you because they want to do it. So ask them instead of ordering them around. And also, don't judge them, because what you mentioned about perfectionism, it's absolutely true. So even if you don't judge them, they will very often feel like they're judged for things you haven't even imagined. So it's like walking on thin ice here. And maybe talk to them, because Virgo is a sign ruled by Mercury again, although it's an earth sign and it's very much related to, mercurial stuff on the earthly plane, so to say. Um, it, I think that explanations, rationalizing, analyzing, giving them the nitty gritty details why something is like it is, will be really helpful for them. Yeah, and when they're little babies and can't talk yet, of course, keeping them a daily routine, which is
Mhm.
repeating, feeding them at a certain time, going to bed at a certain time, doing repeating activities will be really helpful for them to feel secure and stable. Of course, aspects to the moon, we didn't mention it so far, but aspects to the moon will be showing some, nuances and different approaches. But yeah, generally, the moon in Virgo likes it to be clean, tidy, to have a daily routine. And when they grow up a bit, 6, 7, 8, when they can write, they can keep a diary, a daily diary, and they definitely need some healthy routine through the day, to follow some healthy routine.
Yeah, I think one of the things they also need is practicality in whichever shape or form. Like even you said, explaining to them, and finding practical ways of explaining very logically things to them. I've seen work really well. They again, they kind of feel more calm, understand, like they kind of control the situation. The situation is organized for them, I think, because they also like the organizing of the emotional life, in this case with the moon.
Yeah, and yeah, when they become restless about and wanting to be perfect, it's because yeah, we need to see the deeper motives behind this, because it's again a defense mechanism for Virgo to be perfect into something. So why do they need to be perfect? Why do they not feel accepted as they are, and so on? So For it's a hard job for parents with children who have very blue moon, because it's really hard sometimes to somehow keep up to this perfectionism they also expect from you.
Oh,
It's
that's
very
good.
important for the parents to explain and to remind the child that we are only human as well, even though we are the mom or the dad.
Hmm.
So we also make mistakes, and this is, a normal thing in life, and this is how we grow. So I think it's a very important thing for a Virgo moon child to understand that making mistakes is okay, and you will still be loved, you will still be accepted, you are still considered good, even if you make mistakes. Yep.
That's really good. That's really good advice, I think. Super, super.
Good. Now we can go on to the other air moon sign, which is
The
Libra.
Libra moon. Oh, Libra moons. Oh, so these people really need relationships. They feel happy. They feel, maybe that's a bit of an overgeneralization, but generally they feel happier when they're in a relationship, um, when they have somebody to communicate with, when they have somebody to exchange their ideas, their intellectual expression and ideas with. Um, One of the things, like maybe the negative side of this, is really considering and constantly thinking about what other people think about them. It's a huge thing with Libras in general, but Libra moon, when somebody says something about them, or negative, or yeah, it's just emotionally kind of shattering for them, and hurts them deeply.
Yeah.
So
And
don't do that with them.
yeah, definitely. And yeah, the Libra sign is the people pleaser, so to say. So they will be responding to whatever you want, because for children especially, what they want the most is to be accepted and loved by their parents. So they will be doing, a lot to make you like them. So show them that you like them. It's important for them. And what could be, the message to a Libra moon child would be like, show them fairness and respect, because Libra is all about fairness, being fair. And sometimes it can go out of balance a bit. So show them you're fair. And also because it's an air sign again, um, talk to them, tell them, explain to them in a way, but tell them about why you tolerated this and that behavior, and not this and that behavior, and support them to be, unlike Aries, Libra is not so assertive. So parents might be having a hard time to teach a Libra moon child to be assertive in an Aries way, because they will be on the opposite side. And we know that in today's modern world, we need to assert ourselves a bit in order to succeed. And parents with Libra moon children might be worried sometimes that they're doing too many things for others to like them and not asserting them. But in a way, this is what makes them feel secure and what makes them feel loved. So we wouldn't want to make a Libra moon child be too assertive, because this will be going out of its own balance, and it will cause so deep, um, insecurity within them, and not feeling accepted and liked and loved as well. It's like making the Aries child to be like a Libra. It's not possible. It's possible, of course, but this means that you are intimidating their very essence, their true essence. So yeah, we can teach them how to be a bit more assertive. We can support them in that, but still leave them be doing good things for others, and to find their own way, what it's like to be liked, and what it's worth it to be, done for others to, they're somehow they need to learn about relationships. and to have the relationships in their life. So yeah, because for Libra, relationships are really, close relationships are really important. So just let them explore in this area of relationships. Don't put them in a cage, so to say,
Yeah,
you know.
because if you, I think if you force them as well, they can, you know, start exhibiting those Aries qualities or assertive qualities because they want to be liked by the parent and want appreciation. But like deep down emotionally, they might still feel very unhappy.
Yeah, and also one outlet for the Libra moon could be art,
Yeah.
because they like everything that is beautiful, that is in harmony. So yeah, Libra moon children can be very artistic as well. They can have an eye for art. They might like, when they're little, buy them books with beautiful pictures. They might like the pictures in the books, they might like drawing as well, but having an eye, a subtle eye also, for the Libra moon, maybe leave them choose their own quotes, and somehow, learn them how to harmonize the colors, such stuff. But yeah, because if you don't leave them have this harmony built within themselves, they might become stubborn as an Aries on the opposite, and you might find yourself fighting like 2 hours for which pair of shoes should be chosen to go out and be late for any kind of meeting. So just leave them choose their own clothes, and yeah, even if they're not the most appropriate sometimes. But yeah, they need to learn their way. Explain them when they're calm, and yeah, they will, so that they make the right choices when it's time for them to choose.
I think diplomacy with them is very important to
Yes.
exercise that.
Yeah, and or maybe if it's not possible to leave them as a whole to choose what they want to do, to have their own choices, maybe offer them not more than two choices. Like,
Honest.
give them choose between this and that, not among a whole bunch of things. And yeah, so try to be diplomatic, as you said,
Yeah, make compromises with
and
them,
make compromises both sides.
both sides. Yes.
You as an adult as well, and them as children. Because here, children mostly learn from us as adults,
Yes.
right? Okay, so are we moving to Moon in Scorpio, or?
Yeah.
Okay, Scorpio.
Moon in Scorpio. Um,
It's a challenging one,
it's a
right?
challenging one. It's don't want to scare anybody. Just I'll do my best to focus on the positive side of this. It isn't the easiest, of course, the position, but what these people need is actually they need depth of kind of everything. They what I've experienced, they don't need or don't even like when there's kind of like sense of bullshitting in the air. They need, you know, truth and depth of conversation and to know the other person deeply. But one of the things here that's very important to say is they need to feel their deep emotions. But at the same time, those deep emotions are kind of blocked as well. So that can create all kinds of difficult situations. But to remember, if you're in an interaction with a child or with an adult, that underneath their kind of maybe emotional expression in the moment, there is a deeper need to feel something deeply within themselves.
Yeah. And Scorpio is a very loyal sign, so they will need to know that you are a loyal parent to them, and that you will accept them with all their, because they have the somehow this instinct, this strong instinct to know and to sense the really negative in the environment,
Yeah.
and they somehow are born knowing about it. And of course, when they're little children, they're scared. I would say that maybe Scorpio moons are the moons which will be, as children, I mean, mostly in the group that will be scared of monsters under the bed. So and I think that it's important for the parent to acknowledge and respect this, and somehow um, give the Scorpio moon child time. And if I think that the Scorpio moon children are the ones who will be the most attached to the parents for the longest time,
Mm.
because they will need the longest time um, to be proven, to have a proof that the parent will be there for them in their worst, not only at their best, when they're at their best. So the Scorpio moon children will tend to be testing the parent a lot, I think, and they will be probably in one of the two, because this is the sign of extremes. They will be either too testing and too challenging for the parent, showing out their worst emotions, biggest fears, to see if they will still be accepted and kept, or they will just go into their own world. They will, stay there, not share anything, like this suspicious Scorpio, the other side. And it will be so difficult to talk with them. So the role of the parent here is really hard. I agree with you. And it is mostly to help the Scorpio child to feel this emotional security, and to become a bit more open to the outside world, to, to show them that the outside world, but in a very delicate way, not in an Aryan way, not going and just showing them it's all great, but in a very delicate way, to show them that the outside world is a safe place to live as well. Because, yeah, this will somehow eradicate, maybe not eradicate, but lessen the fears of the Scorpio child, that some outer forces will come, something bad will happen. They have this tendency to become negative a bit, maybe, or to become too closed and not
Yeah.
sharing anything. And so I think that with a Scorpio moon child, maybe the parent will, this is the moon sign where the parent needs to be in close relationship with the child the longest time. They will separate slower, in a way, from the parent, and become independent slower. But I think that we as parents need to provide this, security for them. And also, the opposite sign of Scorpio, it's Taurus. So again, a fixed sign, Scorpio, and you know, Scorpio doesn't like changes a lot, but is like always looking for them. That's the it's a contradiction, but it's true. They don't like changes, but they're always looking for them to transform, because that's their nature.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, the
Oh,
parents should be there for the children when they need them. That's the most important, no matter what.
they
Tell them
really.
that you love them a lot. They need to hear that a lot, I think. And yeah, that's it. And allow them to move on at their own pace.
I think they really need to earn their trust, like you said, and
Mm.
then the children and other Scorpio moons will be able to then share their deeper, maybe some of the things they're scared to even emotionally express. When they trust you, then they can start to slowly
Yeah.
express those emotional, maybe sometimes darker things that they're feeling there.
Yeah, so exactly. Trust is a key word here.
Trust them.
Really need to trust you, yeah, and they need their privacy somehow. And I think that, for example, a Scorpio moon child will hate it when the parent discusses about them in front of others. Some things they, discussed privately when there were only both of them, and then a Scorpio moon child listening to the mother talking to a friend about something they discussed in private will
Very
be
bad.
really hard for them. So parents should be really very careful in that sense, not talking about the child in the third person, you know.
Yeah, because the trust is immediately broken for them, and
Yes,
then you
and
have to
then
rebuild it. And
here with Scorpios, because we have very extremes, it's really hard to regain trust.
oh yes.
Once it's broken, it's broken. So yeah, it's really hard. Yeah. Okay.
Just maybe one practical advice to allow these people to, if they are deeply interested in something, to really let them go and research it. And maybe they spend, long periods of time, even like deeply going into a specific subject, allow them to do it. Again, that will emotionally ground these children as well.
Mm. And because also it's a watery moon again, it's very much related to emotions. Like with the Cancer moon, it's this emotional intelligence will be really important for Scorpio moons. So parents will again here need to help the child understand their emotions and understand their inner motives. They will feel it because they're very insightful and very intuitive about it, but they will be lacking the words again because it's all, an emotional chaos. And Scorpio is all about control. So Scorpio moon children will look like very well contained and controlled, but parents should know that on the inside it's a really turmoil, an emotional turmoil. So yeah, talking to the child and validating their emotions and emotional intelligence is really important here for the Scorpio moon, because practically this is their greatest strength. And when they grow up and have this emotional intelligence built within them, then yeah, it will be speaking their truth in an understandable and an accessible way will be really what makes them valuable and helping people transform. So yeah, that's for the Scorpio moon. Now I suggest we proceed with something more optimistic,
Yes.
like the Sagittarian one.
Luckily, after every time after Scorpio, Sagittarius appears, and Sagittarius moon is a very optimistic, optimistic person, and very positive person usually. And they need this again, fiery sign. They need this excitability, excitement, you know, knowledge and wisdom as well. Um, Parties, I would say, as well. They have this kind of quickly going with the adventure that presents itself, and they need it. They need to have this and to feel, happier uh, in their lives.
Yeah, and there's somehow so much interested into why they're here on this planet. They need to have a goal because this is Sagittarius, it's ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter rules our goals, our long-term goals, our philosophy for life. So you know philosophy of life, you can get your philosophy of life by having the freedom to explore things. So when we talk about children, I would say that the parent should be giving the child the freedom to be moving around, talking to others, looking for their own philosophy and not so much imposing their own onto the child. The Sagittarian uh, style is a bit like a gypsy lifestyle,
Oh
so to
yeah,
say.
very
They
much.
like exploring different cultures, different, styles before they are able to find their own truth to follow. And in this sense, if the parent needs to let this child explore in freedom, to contact different, children from different backgrounds, different cultures, just for the sake of finding their own truth, you know. So I think it's really important for a parent of a Sagittarian moon child to let them explore and not to be rigid about certain religion, certain philosophy. They need to have the freedom to choose for their own, to find their own truth and to follow their own ideas and beliefs. So yeah, freedom in any form.
That is, yeah, yeah, freedom is so important for them. If you start to kind of restrict them, not the best idea, I would say.
Yeah, maybe as long as it comes to, security, of
Yeah,
course,
yeah,
because Sagittarius is really optimistic, and they cannot, they can fail to see really dangerous situations when they really exist.
yeah.
So the role of the parent will be to somehow lead the child, but still leave them to explore on their own. Give them some frame, but a flexible one, so to say. you know yeah. And
And I would say, I can't remember if I mentioned, but like adventures. So like when a child is younger, when they start to go into those own adventures, maybe in the backyard or whatever, to really allow them to do that and explore and adventure, and maybe even create some adventures for them, that will also make them happier.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So they're very the Sagittarian, they're very open, they're very direct, and also they have, I think they might have a hard time to have best friend. They will want to be friends with everyone. They
Oh
will
yes.
not be, dedicating to one best friend or to one favorite toy, or to, they will be exploring a lot. They will want to touch base on everything. So yeah, maybe one pitfall for this Sagittarian moon is overconfidence, becoming overconfident that you are, because when you have experience with so many things, at one point you might feel invincible, like you know everything, you have tried everything, and not being able to listen to others. Like you've listened enough, you've heard enough. So the parents' role here will be to guide a bit the Sagittarian moon child onto being able to listen to others as well, not only presenting your own ideas. So listening skills, parents should be focusing on developing listening skills into the Sagittarian moon child. And yeah, Sagittarius is all about moving around, so it could talk about an early childhood where the parents moved around a lot, for example, as well,
Yeah.
and there was no stable family environment generally. So for a Sagittarian moon child, this is something they were probably born to experience, you know, having their home on their back, as Viktor says. He
Yeah.
likes this. So, yeah. Okay, so shall we move to Capricorn, or would you like to add something?
I think that's it mostly for
Okay,
Sag. Yeah,
okay then, Moon in
Capricorn.
Capricorn.
I mean, another a bit of a serious one, earthly, practical sign again. Well,
The
these
cardinal
people,
one.
cardinal and Earth together,
Yeah.
So these people really want um, like organized structure in the life, and when they have it in their home environment, They feel emotionally secure, safe. Um, they also need like goals to go towards, and things to achieve. Um, we can add work here, but I'm not maybe maybe when your child has Capricorn moon, you can guide them towards working at a more earlier age, but I don't know how good of an idea that is. Maybe not too soon.
Yeah, that's usually what happens, I think, with Capricorn moons, because yeah, a Capricorn moon would also talk about the mother, and maybe it was a really hardworking mother who didn't have much time to take care of the emotional needs of the child. But which is not, I'm not saying this, just a disclaimer. I don't mean to make any mother feeling guilty or anything. We are all having our good and bad moments in life and traits as well. So we all work to develop ourselves, to evolve. But yeah, the Capricorn moon would talk about probably you having um, had to take care of yourself early, at an early age, and learning that security comes from a job well done, from taking care, from taking responsibility. And Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is all about responsibilities and delays, and so also about solitude. So I believe that the Capricorn moon child will be a child which will need to have their time alone a bit, to recuperate their emotional state. They when they become too emotional, they will feel very insecure, because they need to be in control of their emotions. They need to they somehow don't like and can't really can't really show their vulnerability. So I think that these children will need time alone. And yeah, maybe as a parenting advice, it will be helpful to give them this time to be a kind of in their own energy. And maybe for this child, it will be really important to have their own room, or some kind of secure space in the home, to feel secure and by themselves for a while. So they need to learn to create their own masterpiece, so to say. And maybe depending on the house of the moon position, um, it will show the sphere they will need to excel,
Mhm.
because Capricorn is all about um, doing a job in a perfect way, in a great way, being focused and being, devoting all your energies to a certain thing, having focus. And yeah, it's a cardinal sign, so it's all about achieving again.
And so wanted to say one of the things with Capricorn moon is like expressing their emotions in a practical way. And this is my opinion of this position, is that they kind of need to practice um, slowly, gradually, like the Capricorn energy is, to slowly practice expressing their emotion and emotional needs as well. Because whenever Capricorn or Saturn is all involved, it's not going to be super easy, and you need to go, practice, practice, practice. And once they're older, the expressing of their emotional needs can get better.
Yes, true. Because it's Saturn, it will come with time and with age.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're usually Capricorn moons are very mature at a very early age.
Hmm.
They have this deep meaning, the deep understanding of of life as a whole, because they went through certain hardships, and yeah, they learned. So emotional integrity is really important, as you said. They really need to get to know their emotions and learn to show them, learn to ask for support as well.
Yeah.
And maybe as a parenting advice for the Capricorn moon child, it will be really important for the parent to teach them the difference between help and support, because when you get help, this means you cannot do it yourself. And when you get support, this means you are doing this yourself and someone is supporting you, because you learn, and we all learn. We all need to learn. So understanding this subtle difference between help and support will be really helpful for Capricorn moons, I think, because then they will be able to ask for support, and still doing things themselves. Okay,
Yeah.
so moon in Aquarius.
Well, moon in Aquarius. So these people really need emotional freedom. Basically, I think this is one of the biggest things with this. If you start kind of restricting them in some way, it's not going to go over well. So they need this. But I also want to say that their emotional approach, or how they approach their emotions, is very, very intellectual, very through the mind. They filter their emotions through the mind, which can at times, when you filter everything through the mind, especially your feelings and emotions, it can leave something unfelt. Then those emotional reactions can suddenly jump that have been suppressed. And they need everything kind of innovative and new, and they need new ideas that makes them emotionally happy, grounded.
Yeah. And also the Aquarian sign and the Aquarian moon, it's all about friends. And maybe this will suggest a kind of a friendship relationship with the mom. They will need to feel their mom is their friend in a way. The relationship between the parents and the especially the mom, because moon represents the mom in the chart. So they will need to feel the mom as someone who they can talk to about what happens, but still, have the freedom that you talk about. I agree absolutely with this, because the Aquarian moon can become really rebellious as well.
Oh yes.
So, it's ruled by Saturn, but also by Uranus, and it's all about being rebellious. And it can also talk about some kind of emotional detachment as well, like over rationalizing what happens, talking about the feelings a lot, knowing everything about uh, this emotional intelligence that I was referring to in the water signs. Here with the air sign, and especially with Aquarius, it's the other way around. So parents will need to, listen to the child, to their emotional explanation, and somehow teach them to make the connection between the feeling and the explanation they have. Not give them the explanation, but teach them what's the connection between what they feel and, somehow looking deeper and seeing their deeper motives about something, so that they can make the correct connection in a way. Yeah. And the freedom of expression will be really important as well. Having your friendship circle, a large one, and allowing them to have their home open for friends as well. And also, this is a very sociable sign. So just like Gemini and Libra, they will need a friend circle. So play dates and organizing group activities of any kind.
Being part of groups and joining groups for the
Yeah,
child is certainly important for them.
yeah, and um, the Aquarius moon also has feelings, because when I said that they're emotionally detached, I don't mean that they don't have any feelings. It's just that they wouldn't show them out of fear that they will be, mocked or ridiculed. And the parents' role here will be to really help them make this connection between how they feel and what they say. And, yeah. So that they don't have to become defensive when they feel a certain type of emotion. This emotional intelligence, but only on more the parent support will come for the feeling side. Right. So
maybe that's it. Or
yeah, that's it. I think maybe we can now proceed with Pisces, the last sign.
the last
Yeah.
one.
That's my sun sign, so I hope I will be able to put some words for the moon sign as well, but there is a big difference, of course.
There is a bit of a difference, and I luckily have a very close Pisces moon. My father is Pisces moon.
Oh, great.
So these people, one of the surprising things, or maybe not so surprising, but they actually need to spend time in solitude. At times, because of their ultra sensitiveness to everything that's going around, they can, in my mind, they can feel everything basically, and just pick up on all the things that are going on all around them. So when you have that in mind, these people really need to have that kind of solitude routine, or the time when they're sitting separately in meditation, or kind of like a artistic expression, creative expression, to understand what they're actually feeling and experiencing, because it's so much, they're so sensitive, they need more time to understand this.
Yeah. And maybe for the moon in Pisces, it's like they're here to learn their oneness with the universe. So any activities which will support feeling this being one with all and being one with the universe will be really supportive for such children. So maybe playing soft music while they play, and allowing them to daydream a bit.
Oh, that's a big one.
And Pisces moons, they tend to be having a really great imagination, so they can be really imagining things that happen to them, and they will become a part of their reality for real. So the role of the parent here will be to somehow talk with the child, and to spend time to listen to all these emotions running through the child, because the Piscean sign, it's a very collective sign. It's the last sign of the zodiac. They practically collect all the knowledge, all the things that come from all the other signs, and that's why they have this rich imagination practically, because they're collectively gathering all this knowledge. And so it's really important to have this deep relationship with the parent, and for the parent to just spend time with the child, to listen to all these ideas. And it's like channeling these Piscean moon children. They will be channeling what's coming in the collective energy field. So they will definitely, maybe at one point, it depends on on the house of the moon and on the aspects, of course, but because this will show us where, in which sphere this moon will be, manifesting its imaginative nature, so to say. But it will be a good idea probably to make the child write down their ideas, or to just tap into these energies, and to somehow teach them that these energies are great to have, but also about the material world a bit, to show them the reason, the link between doing something and how it will manifest in the material world. Because I think that the Piscean sign as a whole has a hard time to realize that our deeds have some practical consequences.
Mm.
And but I don't say the word consequences in the bad sense of giving
Yeah.
the child consequences, but just teaching them about the logic, and the when we do something that happens in the material realm, so that they can somehow channel this great mind and this great energy that goes through them and manifest in the material world as well, not only stay in the dream world, but this should happen in a very delicate way, because it's a very delicate somehow realm, and they really need to be there to tap into this energy. So some soft music, cozy environment, would be really allowing them to play alone. They might like to play alone a lot. And
Arts
nice.
and
And also because it's a water moon again, maybe the moon in Pisces will be the among the three water moons, the one that will be the most expecting for others to feel what they want. Somehow the Scorpio will challenge you the to feel what they want. The Cancer moon, they will find a way to somehow, because it's a cardinal sign, they will not talk to you, or they will, you will feel that there's something wrong. But with the moon in Pisces, it might go so subtle and so deep within them, and they might have so hidden desires and dreams that you will never know about, and then they might feel disappointed because you didn't give them something they really wanted, but they never told you. They expect, because they expect to have this how connection with everyone, the unity of all things. It's like, they might feel that if they feel this way, and if they are able to intuitively know what the others want, then the others will be the same way. So it's the parents' role here, I think, to really show them and tell them and explain, in some way, that this is not the case, that they need to learn to say what they want, and it's not going to happen magically somehow, that others will know.
I think I have one more thing that I need to say here, comes from real life as well, is if these children start to have, kind of unexplainable experiences, or let's say magical experiences, and they're talking about spirits maybe even, or they're showing you a kind of like a, they're saying there's a man there and you can't see that, um, this is most probably because they have these very, very, very intuitive gifts, and do your best to not to restrict those, to scold them, to say, there's nothing there, blah 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 blah. Most likely there is something there, and they have these extreme gifts to share with the world, that they need to practice, and they need kind of guidance and good leadership to enhance those capabilities.
Somehow we as parents need to keep the magic for them alive.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, uh, choose books which have magic within them, some mystical stuff, really, um, fairy tales. It's like, tales for fairies, for hidden worlds, for mystical dragons. And
Oh, nice.
I think that the moon in Pisces will be the ones that will be reading fairy tales until they're adult. And they will
Oh,
love it because they will tap into the energy of the magical realm. So, well, I think we've come to an end.
I think it is, yeah.
And thank you, everyone. I think it's quite a long video, but I think it's worth listening to it. And thank you, everyone, for watching it. And if you like it, you can press like and subscribe for our channels. I will also, if you want a reading with me or Jan, I will put our details below the video, so you can get in touch with us. And yeah, we'll be happy if you share your comments as well, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you might have as well.
Of course, of course.
Under the video. Yeah. Thank you, Jan. Thank you so much for joining me into this really challenging and interesting conversation.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.